The Washington Post is warning American journalists to act responsibly with information leaks after notoriously using that kind of source itself. Marty's Caleb Mopin next this morning explains why so-called weaponized gossip and anonymous sources, those pesky things, are freely in use nowadays.
With the 2020 presidential election set to start dominating our headlines pretty soon, the media is running crisis protocols in case WikiLeaks gets back up to its old tricks. So, should sensitive or insider information be published? What if it has an impact on the vote? Well, the Washington Post has you covered.
In short, don't publish weaponized gossip, verify relentlessly, nail down and emphasize the source of the hack and its motivation, and be transparent with news consumers.
Don't publish things before verifying them. Double-check your sources. That sounds like pretty standard journalism. But apparently, in the age of Trump, that is not common sense among the press corps. Anonymous sources seem to be a big trend when it comes to inside scoops about the White House.
Anonymous sources, reportedly from the Mueller team.
An anonymous source telling NBC Sports.
The New York Times, citing anonymous sources.
Again, these are all anonymous sources. It's important to note that NBC News has not confirmed this.
The Washington Post report cites anonymous sources.
And some of this information has been almost the definition of weaponized gossip. Let's review some of the reporting about U.S. President Donald Trump.
That President Trump called Attorney General Jeff Sessions mentally retarded.
Tape was of Trump using the N-word.
And on a much lighter note this evening, Jeannie Mose on why Trump demands 2 scoops of ice cream while everyone else at the table only gets 1.
Now, some of this information actually turned out to be blatantly false. So why was it okay to publish it without verifying it? Well, apparently the source was someone inside the U.S. government, not WikiLeaks. So, fact-check your independent sources, but not anonymous figures within the U.S. government. Maybe there's another idea out there.
Remember, it's illegal to possess these stolen documents. It's different for the media. So everything you learn about this, you're learning from us.
It may be time to start thinking outside of the box about how we can prevent Russia from meddling in our elections. In that vein, consider this admittedly radical idea. American journalists should take a pledge to not report on the contents of a hack, and social media sites should remove from their networks any news stories discussing hack material.
Now, the job of a journalist is to dig into facts, ask bold questions, and try to determine the truth amid a sea of falsehoods. However, for some in the American press, the rule seems to be, don't dig into facts that are inconvenient.
Of course, journalists should be careful and check their sources, but that's not what the Washington Post is talking about or what many journalists confiding to the Post are considering doing. What they're doing is talking about examining the motivations behind the source, and then considering maybe not even publishing factual information if the source and their motivation are considered not just shady, but contravening American national security imperatives. The Washington Post relies routinely on unnamed sources and specifically unnamed U.S. officials. When it's all unnamed sources and they're U.S. officials, we, as the readers or the news consumers or as citizens, are supposed to put our blind faith in U.S. officialdom, in the U.S. government, in order to believe that those sources are correct. And I think most of the public does not trust their government.